I got a bright idea! Welcome to the 6% Recycled YouTube channel. I've got a special presentation today. I bought both these generators right here for all at 50 bucks. So let's go ahead and get into the idiot's guide to small engine repair and see if I can make these generators run. I'm going to go ahead and blow them off, do basic checks, oil, air filter, see what the wiring looks like, make sure nothing's been eating it, basic stuff. Like I said, this yellow one is likely a better candidate to actually be a generator again, so I'm going to start with this one. Oh, it has oil, but it's black as my soul. The switch does have positive movement. It doesn't mean anything, but at least it's not gummed up or broken inside, at least in the function of it. It's a little Honda 160 GX engine, which is good. I get to learn about generators right along with you, because I know almost nothing. Throttle lever appears to be functional, which is nice. Let's see if we can get in the air box here. Apparently we can. Ah, good. Nothing's living in it. That's a positive sign. Filter's a little oily, but nothing too bad. And not all that dirty, really. Check the plug. The cap's in decent shape. Plug looks to be in decent shape. There's some goo on everything, but nothing fresh. Now let's see if we can get the plug out. Oh. It's barely in there for a change. That's actually nice. Just a little sooty. Like I said before, I can't generate enough speed to go ahead and crank it over. I don't think I can. I'm going to check a few more things to make sure it's not something obvious, but that might be my main problem. With checking for spark. Went ahead and threw a little brake clean on the spark plug, clean it up. Went ahead and threw a little brake clean on the cylinder. Yeah, see if I can fire it over. Fire it over. How about turn it over and get it to fire? Here goes probably absolutely nothing. I think I can do this on my own. I don't think we're getting spark. Either not getting spark or, like I said, I just can't pull it over by myself. I did get it to, well, it might have caught in the, I don't know. Well, hopefully it caught in the footage. I did get it to, you know, for a tiny, tiny bit. So, yeah, it's mostly just me being a crippled idiot, but I'm going to go ahead and pull the air box off and see how the carburetor looks. That's stuck on there. Gently. It's weird. It's acting like there's another fastener on the bottom, but I don't feel one, and I have to get this cover plate off to get to the carburetor screws for the inner part of the air box. Explains why it's such a pain to get off. There's a retainer tube that fits into a grommet on the very bottom, so just be gentle. There's two screws holding the box to the carburetor, and there's one screw coming in from the back with a brace holding in the box to the frame. So I'll get those off and get this out. Getting the bolt out the back, and I can finally take this box off. Nope. Kind of a weird design. Throttle, nope. Just tight. Gasket's not bad, but it's seen better days. And it also would help if I didn't drop it. Relatively clean. No, still, relatively clean is a little bit nice, but I'm going to thread the bolts on and clamp the carburetor to the engine and then do a bunch of cleaning, but I want the seal and I don't want to damage that gasket. Well, now I can pull the bowl off and see if I can see anything nasty in the bowl, and I'll go further from there if I see junk. Oops. It's really not that bad. I'm actually pretty sure this has never been apart because this stuff looks unaltered. Assuming there's nothing gumming up the needle, it should be good to go. Let's go ahead and pull the fuel line off of it and blow through it and hopefully get any junk that might be in there out. Come on off there. Come on. There we go. I should have blown that out before I put the bowl back on, but I'm just going to see what it does. I did a little research on this generator last night, and these retail for about $1,500 in this exact configuration. So I want to clean it up because it's not going to ask remotely that much for it, but it would be nice to get a quarter of that or half of that or a third of it. I'd be cool with that. Woo! Look at it dance! So at least that means that there's nothing trapped in the system. Take a look in the fuel tank real quick and see if I blew any junk back that I can see. No, just some dry gas smell. I'm gonna go ahead and put the fuel line back on and see what I can do to start this little guy. Keep it running. Just want to check it for leaks before I start putting any real fluid volume in there. Keep filling it. Oh, the bowl's leaking. All right, it's good to know that now. Oh, it's leaking more. Okay. The gasket might be bad. Yeah, all right. Well, gonna fix that, and then we'll go back to trying to start it. I should have hit the drain, but you know, it's a little late to try to do it right now. Looks like the gasket on the bolt that holds the bowl to the body of the carburetor was leaking, so I went ahead and got some material. The place I went didn't have the right stuff. They don't sell Honda stuff, but he did give me a little piece of gasket material I was able to cut. I'm gonna throw this together and see what happens. Nothing to it but to do it. I might just spray a little bit of brake clean in here to see if it still leaks or see if something else leaks in the bowl. It'll still run off that, so see if it works. I'm not seeing any leaks, so let's see if I can kick the engine over and see if it'll run. Might not be able to kick it over again. That's going to be my biggest problem because I just can't generate the force, which I probably said 5 times now, but it is a reality, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm going to reconnect the fuel line and see what happens. It's either going to be glorious or glorious failure. Let's find out together. Okay, here goes nothing. That is not fun. It's leaking again. Dang it. It's not the gasket at the bolt that retains the bowl. It's actually the seal where the bolt meets the carburetor body. So I'll have to try to pull that off there and get another one tomorrow. Pull the bolts off the carb. I'm going to try to gently slide it out without disconnecting everything and see what the heck's going on with the bowl. And that's not an option. I don't want to disconnect that stuff. I might have to. That's helpful. Oh, that wasn't that bad. Okay. So our little carby is leaking at this O-ring. I was able to get a fuel oil gasket. The mechanic at the parts store said that more than likely that the jet was clogged, and he's probably right, so I'm going to see what I can do to take it apart and clean it. I also got a pack of these tip cleaners from the local air gas supply store. Junkyard Digs recommends these for cleaning out carbs. I've seen these effectively, so I thought it was worth the $5 to get it, so I'll give it a shot. Don't want to lose any of these parts. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing here. I might have to try to find some schematics because I don't freaking know how this goes. So worst case, I'll be hosing everything I get access to off with some brake clean. No, it's not carb clean, but it's what I got. Oh, well. Nothing but air left in that one. Clean. I believe the jet is actually in this tube that actually keeps the bowl on the carb. So I'm going to have to get Dan from New Guys Garage's favorite tool out, the flat tip screwdriver. Nothing like getting the longest screwdriver I have to try to get this out. And I'm just going to have to clean it out in place. I'm afraid I'm going to, fries are done. I'm afraid I'm going to strip it. Oh, good. A bunch of junk came out. That's hopefully helpful. One more cleaning. Oh, good. Yeah, lots of junk's coming out. Blow some more of it out. So get everything while I'm here. Fully rebuilt. Lost the receipts. Brand new carburetor. No receipts. Let this dry out for a minute and look at everything, see what I can see. I'm going to go ahead and clean the O-ring off rather than remove it. Throw some brake clean in it and see if it seals. If it does not, then I will replace this O-ring. And clean this surface off as well right now. So I might as well do it while it's off. It'd be great if I didn't have to futz with this thing again. Okay, so the carburetor goes like this. I want to drain towards the front. A little snugging. Let's see how she does. Safety third. Yeah, there's probably a lot better ways to do this, but you know. Screw it, let's throw it on there and see if it works. I'll throw the gasket back on very carefully because I needed more data than I had to get it. And I wasn't going to get a whole rebuild kit for this unless I don't have a choice. Just use the box end of the wrench to gently push the gasket into place. So I'm not trying to tear it with my fingers. Some more consistent pressure. Hook everything back up. Hopefully this goes well. I'm getting decent at fixing, well, I'm getting decent at hack fixing Honda carburetors. If the Honchuro's any indication. I did fix my neighbor Dana's generator. That was a Honda. 1 2-barrel Honda carbs, I guess I'm okay at. Now the fun part. Let's reconnect the fuel line and hope for the best. I'm just going to let it sit for about 5 minutes and see if it starts leaking. I don't want to go through the whole rigmarole again if I don't need to. And if it stays that long, fluid's in it. Let's see what happens. Well, it's been the prerequisite 5 minutes I mentioned, so let's give it a shot. Hey! I think there's something in the system that's shutting it off. Oh, don't have much more of those in me. That's disappointing. At least it appears not to be leaking. Okay, so we're on. Not 100% sure. I'm by no means a generator expert. Well, I think problem 1 of the fuel bowl leaking is solved. So now let's figure out what problem 2 is. Went ahead and threw the yellow generator up on 2 4x4s so I can go ahead and drain the oil. Get the area cleaned up before I do it. I had to get oil because I had to do oil change on my Cherokee anyway. I went to Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart. You'll find better prices on oil most of the time. It's still not cheap, but it's a heck of a lot better than regular store prices for most things. Do you need to do this? No. Is it something I like to try to do? I like things tidy. It tends to give you a chance to see problems ahead of time. If things are clean, it gives you a better chance to notice if there is an issue. That didn't make it in the can. Let's drain out the crud. I did some research. One of the most common things it said if a generator will start but won't stay running is it's likely low on oil. It has an oil sensor. If it senses too little oil, it'll automatically shut off. With the oil level being low, probably about half full, I figure that's a safe bet to start there. You need an oil change anyway, so I might as well do it. Hopefully if that's all it is, done. $9 and fixed. This stuff is well used. It was due for a change. Throw a little brake clean in there. Hopefully wash any residual grap out of there. Crap, not grap. I don't know how I said grap, but I looked the specs up online. These only take a little bit over half a quart. So I'm going to put a half quart in and start checking it from there. It's the same as an oil drain plug on a car. You want it tight, but you don't have to go crazy. Most generators or small engines, the drain is down in the base area on the plate, or the engine plate if you want to call it. So that's your first place to look. Most quarts of oil will have visual indication amount of fluid left in the container. This quart of castor oil actually has both quart and milliliter values on it, so you'll have a better idea where you're aiming for if you have a specific number you're trying to reach. You don't need a transmission funnel to fill oil, but it does make it easier, especially in spots like this where there's not a lot of access. Hot pouring action. And go ahead and stop it there. Give the oil a minute to flow down the funnel, and then we'll check it. Hopefully this does the trick. We're just about 3/4 of the way up the stick, so I think we're good. Now let's see if that actually fixes my start but won't stay running problem. Cross your fingers for me. Oh, I hope this works. And no. Unfortunately, there's something else wrong with it, so I'm going to do some more research and try to figure out what the heck the problem is, because this is annoying. So I got to thinking maybe because it's not getting the signal from the crankcase vent properly that it's shutting itself off automatically, so I'm going to go ahead and put the airbox back on and see what happens. Well, here goes nothing. Oh, turn that on. Well, maybe nothing, hopefully not. Well, okay, I'm going to throw a little more gas in it and make sure that it stays running and works. Nice. Well, it's got a little over a gallon of gas in it now, so let's hook it up. Well, let's see if it'll start without being primed. Let it warm up for a minute. It's still got something going on, but at least it's running. I'm going to try to hook something up and see if it works. I got a bright idea. That's awesome. Still doesn't run perfect, but I'll take it for now. Sorry, my phone cut out there for a second. Looks like there's something going on with the idle control, so I'm going to have to fiddle with that, but it's doing generator stuff, so win. Trip over my own feet. Not so much win. I'm unable to increase the standard throttle speed from slow to fast and let it run so we'll be able to have a higher load and keep trying to work through this problem. It's very odd. There's an inner butterfly in this carburetor, and that's what that little lever that's going nuts is trying to keep a healthy idle. I don't know enough about this stuff to go any further without doing some more research. And I'm going to give it about one more day, and then it runs, it's going to get sold. I'm not having any more time to play with it or money to play with it, but we'll see how it goes. Video on YouTube says to take this little idle control jet out and clean it up and give this your shot. Apparently that wasn't my problem. The jet was not clogged up that I noticed, but I figured I'd give it a shot just for the hell of it. The only other real option is take the carb all the way back off again and clean everything up one more time, run a wire through everything, take everything apart that I can, and I might just do that right now, actually. We'll go ahead and run the welding tip cleaner through the main jet and the nozzle and all the small holes in the nozzle. Hopefully that'll get me the final result of cleaning everything little speck out, and I can finally get this thing to idle right. Go ahead and see if all that stuff I did makes any difference. My microphone's dying, so I don't know how much of that actually just got recorded. That's extremely disappointing. It's still idling like crap. I've completely cleaned the carburetor out fully now the second time. Took everything that I could take out of it out. Ran fluid through it. As I was trying to say before my microphone stopped working, it's extremely disappointing. I've rebuilt the carb now once halfway, and the last time was full. Ran a wire through everything. I'm not going to buy a new carb for it. It's at the point where it's still sellable, and I might just have to let it be as it is and just sell it as an idling problem. I can't spend any more time on it. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do, but first, let's tear the little one apart, because it's of no value to me, but the engine itself should be. And it's a learning experience, because I've never had a generator apart before. So let's cut to that footage that I'm about to film now. Unfortunately, this little Husky brand 1850 watt generator is absolutely hammered. We'll cover more of that as the video rolls along. Unfortunately, I can't put this up on a table, which would make this at least somewhat easier. You know, give me this. I gotta pull that switch off. Oh, hey. Hey. Let's go ahead and try to pull this panel off. Lots of wiring. I think I can probably just pull that apart. Maybe not. Likely at least have to pull this switch panel apart. Yeah, more Torx bits. I bought a generator for 50 bucks and got this one for free. So, you know, I'm theoretically ahead as long as, you know, basic things work. That's smashed, torn. Alright, I'm not 100% sure how to take this apart yet, so I'm playing it easy. If you decide to do stuff like this and you're not sure what you're doing, you know, consult someone who knows, or look for instructions, or worst case, take it to somebody who's fluent with this stuff. The connector was broken, and now I broke it more. Why did I get it off? Really can't show you any of this, fortunately. It clips into this hole right here, and you kind of have to get them apart to be able to take it apart. Yeah, that makes sense. I am by no means a generator expert, but I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have this wiring exposed. Maybe I'm wrong. One broken cover left to go, and then we can give her the full once over. Okay. More weird electrical connectors. This one comes out. Let's just beat up. Just take this. No, I'm probably gonna need the switch. Ta-da! Oh wow, it's a Subaru. Subaru Fuji Heavy Industries Limited, Tokyo, Japan. And I'll get the airbox off and see what we see inside. That's just broken. It's got two filters. It's got a pre-filter and a regular filter. Looks like they tried to do some epoxy repairs before. Wow, this thing's a mess. I think that's supposed to stay stuck on there. Okay, so one of the carb bolts is here in the inside and one's on the outside. Let's take the air box off if I can. There we go. Oh yeah, this thing's obliterated. It is definitely obliterated. Consulting the manual, down would be off. This would be on. I'm going to start it with the off, because I'm a little worried about the exposed windings back there. There goes nothing. That's not a good sign. That's definitely not a good sign. Oh, it wants to fire up. Don't know if I can get it to. I can't get enough leverage on it. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to call in reinforcements. I can't pull on it hard enough to get it to turn over, and I can't get enough of it to do it. But still, I'll throw a little shit in its yap and make sure it's actually crap. Figured it. There's just enough. I mean, it's worn completely out. But I just wanted to know that it started before I started playing with it anymore. Because with field coils and everything exposed in the back, it's toast. But as long as I have a motor that runs, it's something to sell. So I get to tear this one down. I have to apologize ahead of time, probably some of the sun, but I need to try to drain the gas tank outside. Hopefully the shutoff valve will allow me to pop this apart and then drain this into a fuel-safe bucket. It's fuel-safe because I said it's fuel-safe. It's kind of turning into the idiot's guide to small engine repair. Okay, good. Actually worked how I wanted it to. Oh yeah, there's crap in that fuel line. It smells more like water than like gas. I'm gonna let this drain for however long it takes, and I will start tearing it apart and show you the inner workings of a generator. I'm gonna take the 4 torque spits holding the gas tank to the chassis of the generator. Fit in the hole. Come on. Go in your hole. Seriously. Now I'm going to take the 4 torque spits holding the gas tank to the generator off. Oh, that one's going to be fun. It's going to be a pile of pain in my butt. There you go. Fries are done. Oh, hey, there's a nice big mouse nest. That's cute. It's like a frickin' mouse condo. Let's get my mouse nest removal stick. That's gross. De-germ, it'll kill anything. I'm gonna go ahead and take this top deck off. The weird mixture of torque spits and regular fasteners. I pre-loosened everything by hand just to double check that it wasn't going to snap off, or hopefully not. Get the tin on the top first. Oh, they're through bolted to the motor, so I have to get those two later. Yeah, same with the bottom torque spits. Of course, this one has to be a nylock nut, so it's going to have tension the whole way up. Oh, it's broken. Ta-da! Took the nuts off the carburetor. Now I can remove my spacers and pull this little wonderful carburetor off of here. Linkages. There we go. Oh, this is gummy. Some kind of shielding. Know if it's a heat spacer or what. Carburetor gaskets are trashed. Pull the heat shield and start pulling everything off. Shielding. At this point, I don't think I'm going to take any more of the engine apart. I'm going to go ahead and take the motor assembly, the gearbox, whatever you want to call it, that actually drives the unit that powers the generator. I'll flip around, take that stuff off, then we'll see what the motor looks like from that side. Start trying to take these retainer nuts off, getting the worst one first. Once I get this last bolt off, I should be able to take this outer plate off and expose all the wiring and everything else. This, of course, wants to be... Oh! Okay. Pull the wiring. Plate gone. I'm not 100% sure how this comes off. It's just gently pry it or what, but find out in a second. Taking this main bolt out of the shaft might take this little block off here. Nope. Okay, time to get some tools. Need to be gently pried off. That'd be nice. Nope. And there we go. One extremely heavy block of copper. I just started giving it a couple love taps, and then the unit fell out of the back of the engine. So, sorry I didn't catch that on camera. I didn't expect that to happen. I was just trying to tap on the bearing to see if I could get this out, and it fell out. Good for me, bad for the filming. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw it all back together and just see if anybody wants just an engine. Take the copper for recycling probably tomorrow. Throw the rest of the stuff in the back of the Comanche for the big recycling run in the spring, which will help me pay for the fixing of the Comanche, since I stole the parts for all my other projects. It's back together! Ta-da! Oh, it's as back together as it's gonna get, so. To sail with you. Organizing the garage and auto ram and everything else happened, so the generator's kind of got put on mothballs for a little bit. And I also got the Honchero in the garage. Came back out to this thing sitting in the corner, and it has leaked a ton of fuel. So the carburetor either seals or something's bad, and there's no gas left. Yeah, there's damn near nothing in the tank. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. I might just leave it here because I'm kind of sick of these things, and it's just not worth the time and effort to go buy a carb rebuild kit or another carb. I'm going to go ahead and pull the filter assembly off, take a look at the carb, see what's going on. If it's something simple, I'll give it one more shot. If not, these things are done. Yeah, I was seriously considering calling this video the Idiot's Guide to Small Engine Repair, and now it actually is the Idiot's Guide to Small Engine Repair. As bad as I'm doing at this. That's gas. Oh, that's gassy. Like I said at the beginning, I've got all of about 50 bucks into these things, probably 60 with a little bit of bought and a little bit of gas, so no matter what, I shouldn't lose on them. I would have liked a little bit of money to help me pay for some of the projects, but at this point it's just becoming more of a hassle than whatever I'm going to get for them will be worth, unless it's something extremely simple. These things happen. Can't win them all. Get the little hose on the back off of the air box, and then this should just come right off. Yeah, it's just like this. It's a powerful gas smell. Like it's actively leaking. And there's also an airplane going over my head from the Air Force Base that's near me. This is about the 10th time I've taken this off, and this is the last time I will be taking this off. So, completely covered in gas. Pain in my ass carburetor off. It looks like this carburetor needs a whole rebuild or replaced, and I'm not doing that. I think this is pretty much where the video ends. I'm gonna throw this back together and then give you my final thoughts of this fail. Mostly a fail. It still was fun, and I don't want any more small engines. I've learned that. It is a learning experience. Well, we'll see if it starts one more time, and then it's done. That's the best it's ever run. Whatever. It's a running generator, needs a rebuild. Oh well. And with that, my idiot's guide to small engine repair is done. They're going up for sale, and get out of my life. Like, share, and subscribe. Hope I earned your subscription. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Still, I'm 4 for 4 on getting them running. Not so great on keeping them running. I'm only about 50% on that, but I'll take it. It's a check minus.